What's up, everybody? As we approach pre-release, one of the most common questions we've gotten is, how do you approach sealed? How any tips, tricks, advice, anything like that? We have an article coming from Jason if it hadn't gone up on our website yet, but I also figured just a video demonstration of kind of the process I use would be helpful. I mean, the easiest way to do it or to demonstrate it for you guys is going to be through Force Table, which isn't ideal because it doesn't really allow me to show you the exact way I do it. We also have a video that we did previously at the Star Wars Unlimited community celebration, where me and Tyler opened our 6-packs and kind of built on the spot. But the main thing I can't show you is that I like to separate everything. And hey, here's all my blue villain, my blue hero, and my single aspect blue cards. Red, same thing. Green, yellow, all hero, all villain, and then put all my leaders at the top and kind of just look through, hey, what card pool do I even have available to me? Like, if I only have one or two blue hero cards and a few single aspect blue cards, I'm probably not wanting to play blue. But that's kind of like the easy upfront decision. But all right, let's hop into Force Table and open the packs and see what that looks like. And so just opening on a pack by pack basis, you kind of just want to highlight, what am I seeing a lot of? 2 super laser techs in the first pack. I mean, I'm already pretty interested in playing Villain Green when I have 2 ramp cards available. Sabine's a good card for Red Hero, and we also have the Gorilla Attack Pod. So Red Hero looks interesting, and then we have some single aspect green, yellow. Bodhi's probably not playable, so we kind of disregard him. Red Villain looks okay as well. And so at this point, obviously not locked into anything, but I kind of already is starting to recognize what I have more of. And then obviously Jin was our leader. We don't worry about the base because in Sealed you have access to all the 30 HP bases, so you can play whatever color you want. We open Leia. Couple green villain kind of bombs. I mean, Gladiator's not a huge bomb, but a 6 drop in Sealed can be pretty good. Redemption is also there as a blue hero card, and then just a lot of single aspect cards in this pack. Few blue options, some villain. So I mean, still not really honing in on anything yet. Villain green does look very interesting at this point. We have the 2 ramp cards already and 2 bigger cards, but we'll see because we don't even have a leader that could play villain yet. Another Leo Organa. So 7 Fleet Defenders, yellow villain. This, I mean, it's playable and sealed, but typically this is trying to do some kind of combo stuff. You don't really have the time to go grab a bunch of cards in sealed and bounce back. So ATST is another bomb if we go villain. 97th Legion's okay. Echo Base combos well with Leia, but we haven't really opened many green hero cards. So I'm not super interested in playing Leia at the moment. So pack 4, another Jin. So we may be playing hero after all, because that's all we've opened so far. For a Cause goes well with that pack 1 Sabine and the Gorilla Attack Pod. We've opened a couple Partisan Insurgents at this point, so Hero Red wouldn't look bad. We have another 97th Legion. Rogue Operative's alright if we have to run Jin, or if we want to splash yellow with Leia. But realistically, we'd rather open a red hero, or probably Jin red, or Leia red. Yeah, a couple X-Wings so far, so we have some space if we go hero. I think we had a couple Star Wing Scouts if we go red too. Hopping into pack 5, finally got our first villain leader. It's probably one of the easiest to build around because he's just such a good leader. Another Crafty Smuggler's cool. Syndicate Lackeys is good. Veers is okay. I don't think we've seen a ton of Imperial. Sublog Guard is fun though. Yeah, I don't think we're really locked into anything yet. Really curious to see what we see in pack 6, which might dictate what we're doing. The third Leia. Alrighty then. So I got another spicy red hero aggro card. Yeah, I don't know that we have enough to fill out a good villain deck. In yellow green, we'll see. Because we did have a decent amount of single aspect green cards, and then obviously some single aspect villain. So let's see what that looks like. So at this point, I would have everything spread out in piles and kind of be able to quickly glance and say, hey, I only opened a couple villain blue cards. So I probably don't want to run villain blue, something like that. And I can flip through each stack at a time to kind of see, hey, this has, a few 2-cost cards, a few curve cards, and some bombs, which bombs in this format are generally going to be your 6+ cost cards, units. Another bomb is Overwhelming Barrage as a removal card because it hits multi-targets, so it's a bomb card, and while also being removal. And then we saw the 2 ramp cards early, so that makes playing those bomb cards easier. So let's go into the deck builder. And since we did the pre-release mode, we have access to Luke Invader as well. So let's just look at what we have for villain first. So we have Boba, so we want to go green. So if we go ground, we have Viper Probe Droid. I always like to look at round 1 plays first, just to see what we're working with. So that's any 1 or 2 drops, which is approximately 4 cards. I'm too lazy to do the math real fast. Ideally, I want to kind of be around 5 or 6 generally, but we do have the 2 ramp cards, so it's not a huge issue. So let's just fill out kind of what we would play. I don't think we have a ton of vehicles, so I don't know that we want 8th Frontier ATRT. But we probably have to run it. So I mean, that's 12. Space is actually, this is a pretty good spread. You typically see lots of decks in draft, especially, that only end up with 3 or 4 space cards. So being able to run several is good. And Mining Guild is another round 1 play with TIE Fighters. So technically, we have 6 round 1 plays. We're pretty happy. Like I said, we got our Relentless and Gladiators bombs. Pirated Starfighter is probably playable. We have enough stuff we technically don't hate bouncing. Like we can get an attack out of Crafty and then bounce it. Something like that. We didn't draft any or open any upgrades in these colors. And so we went villain green and maximum firepower. I don't think we had too many Imperials early on, other than Cell Block Guard, Veer's Lieutenant. Super Laser doesn't stay in play very long. Viper Pro Droid. So we got a handful. So maximum firepower might be playable. Outmaneuver would be interesting. Strike Tree is pretty good. Surprise Strike's pretty good. And so just sitting there, we're at 24 cards, and like we could fill this deck out. But I'm more curious to switch to Leia and see what we got. Go over to Leia and plan on playing her with red. And so let's just go ahead and stick in our round 1 plays. Snowspeeder's okay in limited play. Typically not a fan of Jeddah, but it's runnable. Obviously, Echo Base is great. Ardent works alright. Don't necessarily want to run 97th yet, so let's see what we got. 2 X-Wings, an A-Wing. I mean, we're pretty happy with all those space units. We can run an Infiltrator skill. That's probably what we want to do. We have 2 for a cause. So we have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 non-hero cards at the moment. So I mean, we're gonna kind of have to fill us out with stuff we don't necessarily want to run. Probably drop in 97th Legion. I mean, that's playable. Our final tally on 4 cause is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, not 9, 10. 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So over half our deck doesn't work with that. So not a lot of synergy there, but we're kind of out of cards. So I mean, there might be times we're fine paying 3 to do 2 damage because we also get to order the next 4 cards and filter out stuff we don't want. So it's not completely unplayable. But just going through that at this point, I would probably play the Boba deck. Just felt like it had a little more synergy with the ramp and the big cards to get us there at the end of the day. This deck, you can look it up. Okay. But you can only sort it by types. So like leaders, ground. I mean, you can look at it this way, but I'd rather separate it by colors. But yeah, that's kind of what I look for when I'm doing sealed. I'm just kind of looking through the pool, seeing what I have, seeing if I can build a mostly 30 with just the in aspect cards. There are some splashable out aspect cards. Overwhelming Barrage is typically fine at 7. Some of the double aspect cards play pretty good at 6. So a lot of sealed is just card evaluation and being able to quickly look at what you got and seeing, hey, I can play green. I got a lot of good green cards. Or hey, there's a lot of synergy with these green cards with Boba as my leader. So it's not like a super easy, like, here's the information. There you go. Now you're a master at sealed. It really is just learning all the cards and seeing what works together well, and playing more and more, and you will get better at it. But the one thing I would say is just always separate it out, by aspect, and just see what you have available to you. Because if you're only building 15 cards before you have to start building out aspect, you're not going to want to run that. So yeah, that's a quick and dirty rundown through sealed for me. Like I said, Jason will also have an article on the website going through that, so you can go get his POV. So thanks for joining us. Peace.